Today we're discussing the 5.6x39, also known as the 220 Russian. Its history and military use, its Wildcat variants, its target use and effectiveness on game. Hi, I'm Ben, this is Benny. Let's get into it. General information. The 5.6x39mm or the 220 Russian is a bottleneck rimless rifle cartridge that was originally a neck-down version of the 7.62x39 M43 cartridge. History. The 220 Russian was designed by Mikhail Nikolaevich Blum in 1955. This cartridge was developed for use on small and medium game animals in the USSR. Mikhail Blum took the 7.62x39 case and necked it down to accept 22 caliber projectiles. The initial testing was done with a rechambered SKS carbine. Before the 220 was designed, the majority of hunting in the USSR was done with either shotguns or Mosin Nagants. Once the 220 became a popular cartridge, commercial ammunition started being manufactured, both in the USSR and in Finland, by namely Tula, Sako and Lapua. Military use. Within the 220 Russian's development as a hunting cartridge, there was a military investigation into small caliber high velocity rifle cartridges, based on the USA's experimentation with the 223 Remington. The USSR only had 2 of these cartridges in their possession, so ballistic testing was done with the 220 Russian instead. Once velocities and twist rates were figured out, the decision was made to abandon the 220, as its external dimensions were not optimal for feeding in automatic firearms. This experimentation eventually led to the 5.45x39 7 and 6 cartridge. Factory chamberings. The 220 Russian has been chambered in many different firearms, mostly within Russia, Finland and other former Soviet nations. From hunting rifles like the Bars carbine and the Kalashnikov-based Saiga 5.6, and target rifles like the MBO-1 straight pull, and experimental military rifles like the AO-36 twin barrel rifle and the TKB-022PM bullpup thingy. Wildcats of the 220 Russian. The 220 Russian was used as the basis of many different Wildcats, starting with the 22 PPC, which led to the 6mm PPC, then the 30 PPC, then the 6.5 PPC, which evolved into the 6.5 Grendel. I do an in-depth video on the 220 Russian Wildcats here. Competition shooting. The 220 Russian is a very accurate cartridge and was popular for use in the running deer competition, where shooters would take either 1 or 2 shots at a moving paper deer target at 100 meters. This was an Olympic event, with the last one being held in Australia in 1956. Effectiveness on game. Within Eastern Europe, where this cartridge was popular, it was used primarily on capercaillie, marmots, foxes, wolves, boar, deer, antelope and seals. From a velocity and energy standpoint, the 220 Russian produces similar performance to the 223 Remington. The 220 Russian is an excellent small and medium game rifle cartridge. What do I think of the 220 Russian? I like it, even though there's no practical reason for me to need one, given the availability of 223 and 222 Remington rifles and ammunition. The 220 Russian is cool and I want one.